Hey guys, welcome back to the Divine Channel. My name is Siobhan, and I'm here to channel messages from Spirit for your greatest and highest good and for the greatest and highest good of the collective. And I have this message coming through about a kingdom spouse, a future spouse, divine masculine, something along these lines, which isn't something that I usually talk about. And I'm not like super comfortable bringing these types of messages through, but whenever Spirit brings through something and they show it to me through synchronicity or they channel it straight through me. And I kept hearing future spouse in my head, especially before sitting down to do this reading. I know this is something they want me to talk about or they're going to bring something through about. So let's find out what this is. Okay, we've got the Four of Swords coming out to start off the reading. It feels like, it's giving me this like resplendent energy. There's something about peacefulness. And peacefulness in patience is actually what I just heard. And now they're showing me the difference between the Four of Cups being more like an impatient energy where there's discontent and boredom when there's nothing going on, versus the Four of Swords, which is this card Four of Athems. And it's a peaceful energy because that pause, that break, that time apart perhaps is for rest, or it's for introspection, or it's to replenish one's stores of energy. Okay, I just flicked off like half of the frickin' deck. We have the Temperance card on the bottom of the chunk that kind of flipped off here. Underneath the bottom of the other chunk was the Eight of Pentacles, so I'll keep that here on the table as well. The Wheel of Fortune's underneath that, but I'll put it back in. If it wants to come out, it will. Okay, I am hearing time apart. Now, I don't think that this is like talking about direct separation, although it could be. This feels more to me like the time that the souls of the masculine and the feminine have been apart and why that was necessary. And there was a process of like working on the self or working on some kind of a project and trying things out and building something and producing something through like trial and error that kind of had to be done alone. We have the Four of Wands, which is actually these two coming together now and uniting. Oh, that's interesting. There's so many pairs on this table. If it's going to focus. In the last reading I did, which was a love message reading on my other channel, it's Tarot and Beyond, they showed me pairs. I can't remember in which group it was, but they showed me pairs. And that was earlier today that I filmed that reading. So this is coming up in context to that. And if I remember correctly, that message was about fertility. And the Four of Wands, this harmony in union, is actually what they're telling me right now. That's kind of what the Four of Wands is about. It's I'm hearing domesticity. And it can be about a celebration or a community gathering. Four of Wands can be about the stability of the home, hearth magic. I'm also hearing. Okay. So there's something about the connection and the together time versus the separate time or alone time. I've also been getting messages of, we have Knight of Swords, Knight of Athems. I've also been getting messages about like abandonment wounds and healing the feeling of emptiness from within so that codependency or anxiousness doesn't take over. So I'm hearing something about the great work. And they've also been showing me stuff to do with alchemy. Symbols of protection, symbols used in alchemy. And when I clicked on a video that was talking about the basics of alchemy, they said that it was referred to as the great work, or somebody commented something about that as well. I can't remember. I think it was both. So there's something here about a great work of alchemy that you and your higher self is what I'm hearing, and how this masculine feminine energy dynamic plays out within you and within the relationship dynamic if you're with this person or not, and how this is producing some kind of a result. And they're showing me the fruit again. What is the result that's being produced here? They're pointing me back to this card, which I haven't talked about, the Knight of Swords. This almost looks like a race horse, like the way the fence is beside them. It looks like they're running some kind of a race. Oh, it's underneath the Four of Swords, and I heard racing intellect. And the Four of Swords is about resting the mind. So the part of the great work that they want to talk about here is central to the mind. And there's something about like the God mind. Okay, we have 7 of Wands. And the hearth is really standing out to me again. It's like the protection of the sacred fire is what they're saying. The window is open. The window is open, and they're showing me in these cards how the doors are both open in the background. The window is open. This feels more symbolic, or not even this feels like coded. I mean, all my readings are pretty coded by spirit, but the window is open. It feels like a window of time. They were showing us the doors being open. Doors can have to do with portals, access points. This could be an access point to some kind of information that comes from, I'm hearing the sky above, but they said the sky, and they're showing me like a sky god, a depiction of a sky god, not any one of them specifically like that has a name, that just like generic sky god. Okay. They said divine masculine in the air. They're also saying the word ether. Divine masculine in the air and ether. Well, air element is different than ether. Or maybe we're talking about this alchemically. Again, what is ether in alchemy? And they're showing me bubbles in a liquid. Something's rising to the surface, so there's lightness in the air. And it's connected to the great work somehow. The great work being God consciousness. Yeah, they're saying something about mentality shifting. And the 4 of Pentacles coming out next. And his hearth fire is not lit. Okay. So there's 2 messages here about protection. This one has a closed door. One fire is lit that is protected. But this is like being protected by the feminine. And this one's got a masculine and his fire is not lit. So it feels almost like the divine masculine is focusing on the wrong thing. His attention is drawn elsewhere, and the sky god is waking him up, is what I'm hearing. I have no idea what this means. The sky god is waking him up and putting his attention or his focus on what's important. What's most important is actually what they said, most important. So there's multiple things that are important here, but there's something that's most important. This feels like a great treasure because they're showing me this little treasure chest in the bottom here. But it doesn't feel like a physical treasure. It feels like a treasure that's achieved through the process of love. What do I mean by that? Or what does spirit mean by the process of love? Well, they're showing me that Temperance card and how she's creating here. She's mixing different elements to get a result. She's testing things out. This process of love is a bit of trial and error, especially when we're talking about relationship dynamics and the 3rd dimensional reality. Because the type of God love that we are here to learn about is not something that necessarily is readily or steadily available here. So we have to learn to produce that ourselves, and we kind of have to take these different elements and mix them together to see what they give us. This is the work, the 8 of Pentacles. This is what we're working on. And this is what we're perfecting. And what we're protecting, because this great work is important and therefore it needs to be protected. So the process is the practice, really. The practice of love. We have the Holly King, the Hermit, and this is again speaking to me about separation or time apart that is necessary to review. I'm actually hearing, the Holly King is the number 9, Hermit number 9, which is about reviewing the past, a closure, ending of a cycle. I'm hearing maturity and wisdom. And being able to perceive through time, looking back and being able to see things in a different context as to what you first experienced them as. Hindsight's 2020, that kind of thing. So being able to perceive something differently from a further vantage point in time. That's this lantern that the hermit has in his hand. It helps to guide him. I'm hearing something about satisfy him. He's satisfied by what he finds in the darkness of the mind or in the past. He's satisfied by what he learns and the wisdom of the spells that are cast. Ooh. The magic is in the manifold mind, they said. Okay. The magic is in the manifold mind. So what are we talking about here with the future spouse? Okay, this card just shot out. 9 of chalices. Love this. 9 of cups. And she's sitting there with her crystal ball. You can't see mine. It's right there. I won't lift it up because it's literally huge like this. And I don't really use it for scrying. I like it as a symbolism of what I do because I am this. Like, I guess you could say I'm a fortune teller, but that sort of trivializes it because I don't feel like that's necessarily all that I am. But there's a satisfaction to being able to perceive clearly through time and to satisfy the thirst, like back to that message about the emptiness or the abandonment, to be able to satisfy the emotional thirst that you were kind of like trial and erroring trying to find. I'm hearing Philosopher's Stone and they're showing me the Holy Grail and how there's like a selection of different cups. It's reminding me of that Indiana Jones movie, the one where he has to select which cup was the Holy Grail, and instead of choosing the most extravagant one which melts the guy's face off, he chooses the one that's carved out of wood. Ooh, wood kept coming up in one of my previous readings on my other channel as well, and there was associations to the year of the wood snake, which is this year right now, 2025, being significant, and just the element of wood, which I'm not sure. I would have to look into alchemically what that's talking about or what that's referring to. It could be earth element. Yeah, there is a little ladybug on this. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. See the ladybug? I have been getting messages about springtime, spring and fall. And these are kind of like transition seasons. I feel like summer and winter are they're very set in what they are. And then the spring and the fall are like these in-between seasons, although they are seasons of their own, in their own right. So there's something here of a transition. I have been seeing references to crossroads, transitions, in-betweens, between worlds, different, like merging, bridging, things like that has been coming through on the channel and even just like behind the scenes. But there's something here about bridging the gap. Maybe it's bridging between past and future and like the present moment. And this is like a pivot point of some kind. They're showing me the pentagram or the pentacle being a protection symbol and being in use. I'm hearing in use. It's literally like the star in the circle being in use. I don't know what that's talking about. Oh, in use to promote victory here, 6 of Wands. Or if there's something about publicity. If there's publicity. Publicity. Okay. Yes, kitty. King of Wands. The king of the hearth fire. Hold on, sweetie. I'll let you out. One sec. And the wild hunt. I've just got to let Kitty outside because I didn't realize she was sleeping on the bed. Okay, one sec. Yes, baby. Okay, so the wild hunt. It's the Tower card. I'm hearing separation again, but it's separation from the self. That's where the emptiness comes from, is separation from the self. And when we're not separate from ourselves, when we can sit with ourselves and be with ourselves in those moments of stillness, that is when we unite. That is when we stoke the hearth fire, is what they're showing me a billows right now, like one of those things that you blow air, again, the element of air being significant, into the fire, and you help to build it up. You give it strength. So there's a process of unfolding. Manifestation is what it feels like. That's part of this process, part of this practice, and is building over time to create something that's stable and long lasting. But we're kind of like looking back at the wisdom of the past. Past lives could be significant here as well. And seeing this, I'm hearing peak timeline. Seeing this are you talking about this timeline? Yeah, the peak timeline, whatever that is that you're in, being associated with some of these lessons that you've learned or things that you've seen is what they're showing me. They said stumbling over my words because there's too much trying to come out all at once. Prophetic dreams, they said, prophetic dreams. They're saying something about delicately or gently amidst the chaos. Go delicately or gently amidst the chaos. And they're showing me that Tower card again. So something about taking things at a steady pace, going slow, protecting yourself, taking time alone, connecting as needed, coming together, trying things out, communicating, and stoking the fire. And I'm seeing all of these cards, the fire and the candles are really standing out to me. The lights in the windows of the house. And even here, how the light is emitting out of the inside of the tower. I'm hearing new breed. Okay. What? New breed? New breed. Yeah, they just keep saying new breed. This is interesting. They were saying new breed over and over and over again, and I just kind of paused to sit with that because I'm wondering what this is referring to. And in this card, the King of Wands here, it looks almost like he's got a pregnant belly. I know this is a man. And I was seeing seahorses yesterday, or no, that was earlier today. Time is weird. I was seeing seahorses today, which is the men carry the young. And I was seeing references to if men could carry children or father children, something about like maybe a reversal of roles or they said masculine hospitality, and they're showing me this card where he's pouring into the woman's cup. Masculine hospitality. And hospitality is connected to the home. You welcome someone into your home. And they were showing me pineapples yesterday as well. And I associate pineapples with welcome because they were used as gifts of generosity or hospitality when you would have guests over, especially in the South, in, I don't know, like early 19th century. They were used to show wealth because it was expensive to import and to have them be ripe. And then it was an act of generosity to be able to share that wealth, that gift. So there's a sharing of a gift here that leads to satisfaction after a period of trial and error, separation, coming together, teaming up, I'm hearing, and being able to determine what is the correct cup, which one holds the liquid of the Holy Grail. There's something about discovering it through rest. They said rest is best, so maybe there's a lot of energy that's going on here that needs to be integrated, and resting is going to help that process along. Or there's rest alternating with work, because I'm seeing like Four of Swords, Eight of Pentacles. There's a need to kind of, and the Temperance card right in between them. It's literally like alternation alternating current, something about generative resources and fire being like the driving force, or being some kind of a, well, it's representing an energy source, but they were saying new breed before. Something about the mantle around the fire, but also I'm seeing mantle in like a different context. Mantle above the head. I don't know what that's talking about. Something about above. Maybe that's connected to the sky god message. Can I get a clarifier on the new breed and one on mantle? So for new breed, we have the high priestess. She's creating this potion, adding her ingredients, and I'm hearing stoking the fire. And then for the mantle, we have 9 of Pentacles. Okay. This one came out a lot today in the other readings that I did. So this is probably like the 3rd or 4th 9 of Pentacles that I've seen today. I have one sitting right here. Okay. So hearth and home. Hearth and home, hair and bone. That's what they just said. Hearth and home, hair and bone. This feels really ancient. It does feel like there's spells that we're talking about here. I mean, I'm using this like sort of witchy tarot. I think it's called the Green Witch Tarot. And maybe something to do with identity as well, because I was mentioning how I have the fortune, or I have the crystal ball on my table, but I don't really associate or identify myself as a fortune teller. Although that's probably an accurate sort of classification of what I am by some people. So there's something here about like a new breed, a new category, a new way of like identifying. And it's different than before because it's more elevated with that high priestess. It's elevated to a different level, and it's incorporating the wisdom of the past into the foresight that we're having of the future. Okay. There's a process, they keep saying that practice or that process of love unfolding is leading to a lot. We got 3 9s here, 9 of chalices, 9 of pentacles, and the Holly King, the Hermit, 9. And in one of the previous readings, the one that I was in the car channeling, salt and silver, silver and gold, superhumans, and the seeding of consciousness, they were saying 999. So there's something about the energy of 9. The culmination point is kind of what it feels like getting to a point where it's now accessible is what I'm hearing. Accessibility. Oh, they're showing me the doors again. The door is being open. The window is open. Accessibility. Can you elaborate on the accessibility? What is being accessed? The standing stone. The Justice card. Karmic imbalance cleared through ritual use of cleansing practices is what they're saying. So maybe there is some kind of like, the Sun card on the bottom. Some kind of magical manifestation technique, cleansing ritual, something that it feels quite magical to me. Like it's not an everyday commonplace thing, like washing the dishes. It's like and even if it is that, it's like you're making it magical in some way. And that's what stokes the fire. Something about a wake-up call as well. The sun is shining so brightly, so brightly in this card. And I was seeing a chicken on the Wild Hunt card. And it was speaking to me of like a wake-up call. The blasting of this light, right? It's so bright, it can't be ignored. And all of this light is filtering down and being able to be used in these really practical ways, like through hearth and home. Hearth and home, hair and bone. They keep saying that. So hair and bone are to do, I associate them with genetics. I associate them with ancestors. Oh, yes, ancestors. The family is the foundation of the ancestry. Family is hearth and home. I'm hearing we are all family. Yes, of course. Yeah. Okay, I did get this other deck out. So let's dive into that as well. Oh, 2 cards that fell on the bottom or fell to the ground. We've got emotions on the bottom. So balancing of emotions. Hold on. Let me get these cards. Okay, we have life and communication. And thank you to Cooley Art for donating this deck to us. She created it and she sent it in, and I love it. It's beautiful. So life and communication. Well, I see themes of communication here in the reading. I think I was mentioning that before, briefly. Baby. I didn't mean to say baby, but life. And they were showing us they're saying baby making process. That is the act of love. Okay. And it's the 2 opposites coming together, the negative and positive polarity merging to create new life. And they're showing me alternating current and plugs and outlets. Okay. So something about like electricity, fire element, lightning could be significant as well. Sky god. Oh, thunder and Zeus. Okay. Sun god, Ra. It's like masculine God energies. I mean, this is a divine masculine archetypal reading. But there's new life. There's something being born. And it's through an alternate source is what they're saying. Alternating current, alternate source. So it's almost like the divine masculine is embodying the feminine and the feminine's embodying the masculine. And then there's reversals or switches. They're saying the window is open again. I feel like I'm missing something. Let me go back in with this deck. What am I missing here with the window being open? What are we talking about? Selflessness and healing also came out. Healing. The healing window. They said seeing beyond the veil. We did have the high priestess and that fortune teller energy, even with the 9 of cups. So seeing beyond the veil. And connection. Communication, connection. We've got sensitivity on the bottom, sensitivity, and we had emotions on the bottom before. So there's like increased sensitivity to emotion that is allowing the self to know the self better. And I'm hearing know thyself. This is leading to the healing and the production of new life. Communication, I'm seeing also like communication being a 2-way street. We can do physical level communication where we merge the bodies. We can do energetic communication where we communicate telepathically or empathically. We can do physical verbal communication where we're communicating through language, through symbols. Oh, right, symbols. And this is what allows us to connect. This is what breeds connection, new breed. Maybe this is talking about a new breed of people that communicate or connect in different ways that are being born in this time, because I'm hearing like babies and life-giving source, life-giving nutrition. There was a honeybee somewhere here. There it is. And they were showing me last week or earlier this week, I can't remember. Again, time is weird, but they were showing me stuff to do with queen bees and how worker bees will select several bees to be potential queens, and they feed them on a diet of the royal jelly. And this is what turns them biologically into a queen. So it's something about like nutrition, a food source, an energy source energy that connects us with the selfless self is what they just said, the selfless self. Ooh. Yeah, capital S. And this creates new life, the giver of life, the queen bee. But we also saw that sort of androgynous male energy, or the reversal of, they're saying a split, and an end, a split end. Well, it's like hair again, hair, split ends in hair. One strand, when it loses integrity, can split at the end. And this feels like past. This feels like timelines, a split. But you can't heal a split end. You can coat it, but it doesn't actually repair it. It doesn't actually heal it. To get rid of a split end, you have to cut it off. So maybe this is talking about cutting off a timeline and producing a new one. And there's healing in that. Like there's a hair stuck. You can't probably see that, but I shed a lot. But like there was just a hair in my hand. Okay. Strands of hair woven from the past. This feels like ancestors. I was getting a lot of messages about ancestors throughout today, leading up to this reading. So your ancestors have a message for you about this family lineage and how the marriage or union of souls coming together is occurring at this time. And they're communicating with you about your sensitivity and your healing and the communication or connection with your counterpart, your kingdom spouse, your divine reflection. And they're showing me those scales of justice on the standing stone. Your divine reflection. But not in opposites way cause harm. The foul run afoul and feed the farm. Feed the farm, they said. Why are we getting so much rhymey stuff today? And it feels really middle-agey. For lack of a better way of saying that. We do have the harvest card here, which is judgment. Feed the farm. Feed the farm. Feed the farm. The sun feeds the plants, feeding the farm. There's something of a painful timeline that's being finished. That's the 999 cycle, they're saying. A timeline that was painful being finalized. It's about finalization. And this new harvest is a rebirth. It's a new timeline that's available where there's peaceful prosperity. That's another message that came through earlier today. Peaceful prosperity in this process, in this practice. And it feels like it's through the wisdom of the past that we're able to sever ties where it's necessary to do so with old versions of the self or old ways of conceptualizing or thinking about the self in terms of identity or right and wrong, black and white, masculine, feminine. I'm not saying that it's about, well, no, because the union of masculine and feminine within the self is to a degree about androgyny, but it's not about like switching roles or they said trans feminism. I don't know what that's about. Or trans in general. But there is like not a swapping of roles, but like a merging. Does that make sense? Maybe this is talking a bit about gender roles. I don't know. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, okay? But there's an open window here to something that is set to occur in the future. They're saying seasonal. Oh, and they're saying something about seasonal depression, and they're showing me the sun shining really brightly. So the sun offsets and feeds the soul. Sun offsets depression and feeds the soul. They said shoal, but there's no, a shoal is like a wave in the ocean, but or a type of wave. But they're showing me also a shawl, like a cloak, a woolen cloak, or some kind of a cloak. And lightning, they're showing me that lightning symbol again. Okay, so I feel like this reading just left me more confused than when I started. But I think that this is one of those messages that's just going to unfold over time. And we get bits and pieces of it that don't necessarily make sense in context of like a standalone message. We kind of have to have the larger context to be able to put it into place. And or you're going to interpret it differently than I'm seeing it right now. Maybe you'll see how it makes sense to you. And if you feel called to share that in the comments, maybe that'll help us put the pieces together. And if you don't feel like sharing, that's fine too. Because again, I feel like I'll be getting more information about this as things unfold. But it does overall feel like a very positive message of healing, of growth, of new foundations, new opportunities, new timelines, new frequencies, new communication styles, new identity levels, new harvest, a new breed. And it's a lot of new things. Okay. So I think I'll leave it there. And, they said move into the next energy, which I don't know what that's meaning for me or for you. Moving into the next energy. Maybe that's what this reading is helping us to do, or this process, moving into the next energy. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. I hope this was helpful. Just take what resonates and leave the rest, or see how things unfold. Let me know how it resonates if you feel called. And check out my other channel, It's Tarot and Beyond, which we do pick-a cards and other types of messages come through in that format. So if you're interested, the link is in the description box. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.